I did take quite a good solid handful of graduate classes for history, though.
Yeah.
And those were more a little bit my level.
What kind of history did you do?
It was honestly like just
Anthropology.
I don't know. A lot of it was indigenous cultures and stuff like that. Was a lot of it that I studied. I studied a lot of.
Bro, you're giving me Barstool vibes right now.
A lot of it was like. So I actually it's funny. So I went to college. I had a teacher, and I took a Native American history studies in college on a whim, and the professor was so cool. She really just gave me a purpose in learning it, and showed me it's direct. Now when I got to college, it clicked to me that history is super important because it's all leading up to my moment right now. And it was very big for me. It was a really big change that happened, and I started loving it. And I've always resonated as a storyteller first. That's something I came to the conclusion to as a young person, as a very young kid, and I've always loved that. And now that it just became an extension of that. I love history because when you're a young person and you haven't lived a whole life yet, you better start studying other people's lifetimes.
Better study your life.
But I also I went to college for electronic media, and with a focus on sound and music design, and then ended up accidentally. I took so many of her classes. I ended up I just the professor did all of her took a class multiple classes with her every semester, and then ended up she was like, well, you're out of classes to take with me, but I will write the credit for you to be in my graduate courses, and I think you would do really good.
Are these cameras good?
Yeah, they're going.
Oh, really?
They said
I'll send this to you before you
right.
can. I'm not gonna.
No, it's okay.
The life and history of Sis.
Yeah, but I accidentally, literally, I was going for the focus in sound production, and ended up accidentally picking up a double major, man. I started taking these graduate courses, and by the time I had it, she was like, just to let you know, you're a writing class away from having, a bachelor's in history. Yeah. Now, I never took that writing class.
Yeah, he said, fuck all that.
But I took a lot of architecture and culture in Cincinnati as well. When they built FC Cincinnati, the soccer team's TQL Stadium, I actually went to the West End, met a lot of the families at community events and going to houses and stuff, and then actually did a digital archive that's in the bottom of Union Terminal, and archived a lot of the families, things about them and the buildings that were taken down where they were living, and made a direct copy of who was being displaced by the FC Cincinnati Stadium being built, or TQL Stadium. And that was that was just the peak of it, man. That's now it means a lot to me, because that was showing what's happening now to me. That's what I was waiting to get. And it was just, I did history of the West End, history of OTR, and then I accidentally also picked up a minor, associates or something, in fucking cultural anthropology, because I love, I've never had a love for history, but I've always had a love for culture.
Let's hear these interview questions.
Yeah, well, I was answering this question.
Story of Sam Smith. Yeah, for 30 minutes, bro.
Hey, man.
I do have a question, though, that is more general to the whole band, which is, are you guys manifesting anything recently?
Oh.
Ooh.
I am manifesting appointments and leads at my job, man. Freaking.
I am manifesting a vibe.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Frank is manifesting a smoke bomb.
Yeah, you just manifested something.
Oh god, fuck.
This is actually the most
God, fuck.
interview right now. What is that?
We're manifesting destiny.
freaking arsenic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
This is actually.
Poison. I'm not even gonna. You guys should probably get out of here.
Yeah.
You're cool with being poisoned, right?
Next question.
Yeah, alright. Next question. A tasteful of what?
Oh,
That's a
tasteful
good
of
question.
you.
Ooh,
Chicken
hey.
You
tikka
know what
masala.
I'm saying?
Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock.
So you guys identify with the Cincinnati scene? Is that
Yeah.
a true statement?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you speak to maybe like the differences between the Cincinnati scene and the Columbus scene in your experience?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, I feel like the Columbus scene is very similar to the Cincinnati scene as far as like the underground house show stuff. I definitely, I mean, we're biased. We know like a significant, you know,
Portion of bands in Cincinnati.
of the Cincinnati
yeah.
bands, way more bands in Cincinnati than Columbus for sure. But I feel like they've got similar vibes going on. Obviously, UC has CCM, so we've got sort of. I feel like Cincinnati has a little bit more of a musical edge. Like there's a lot, at least just more musicians in the area.
Yeah, there's a lot of CCM dropouts that have pretty much made our units, right? You know, we get so many people who come to the conservatory to study, realize whatever they realize,
Yeah.
and
That's a hard
end up,
life.
you know, finding themselves amongst us. You know, that's really where our, you know, when we all got to UC, I'm not going to say that there wasn't a house show scene that existed. We definitely
Yeah,
were
there
not.
totally was.
We weren't necessarily directly associated with it, and then a lot of our like comrades were a big part in forming what is now like, you know, now the frats and there's just as many house shows going on as frat parties or anything, and it's become a really cool underground scene. I will say I feel like especially in places like Athens though, or maybe even Columbus a little more, there's a lot of like there's this great DIY feel, and there's a lot of like crazy. There's some really good like rockin' bands in Columbus, man. And then Athens, I feel like, is really more of a straight DIY like indie rock scene, which is really cool though. And this is all biased. Like that's just what we've seen personally.
Frank, what do you
you know.
think? You book a lot of shows in Cincy. Know a lot of bands.
I don't know. I think Cincinnati, like we said, CCM. So the CCM would be the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music at UC. There's a lot of jazz musicians that come out of that school, and then a lot of people that are into music production, and that's where you get a lot of the, like, I guess, alternative or hip hop influence. So you see that in the Cincy scene a lot, is hearing, I guess, the hip hop soul influence as well as a lot of that jazz.
There's a huge underground hardcore scene in Cincinnati too, like with Legends and all that.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of like hardcore punk and stuff. There's, you know, we really, even more specifically than the Cincinnati scene, we're really a part of what has been, I don't know, deemed the Clifton scene, man. Like we're really directly associated with what's happening in the university area of Cincinnati, you know. And there's a lot of other music in Cincinnati. Like, you know, we play with a lot of like rock bands and house shows and all that. But since he's got a great like soul and funk like, you know, roots, and then there's a real like metal and hardcore scene around here too, that we like. And it's funny because as a band coming up, we've really worked. Like we started in the rap scene and then went to the
Oddly
metal
enough,
scene.
yeah.
Like we were playing
Tell
the
me about
Thompson
that.
House with all these metal bands, and then, you know, played with a lot of metal bands, and then found our own niche. And, you know, just like everywhere, it's possible everywhere, man.
What do you mean you started in the rap scene?
Oh, dude.
So we were working with an artist named Moonlight.
Okay.
Brother,
And what do you say?
whose brother is Season,
Yeah, his brother's Season.
toured with Juice World.
Yeah. So,
Rest in peace.
anyways, but Moonlight, he did, I guess, like a mix of hip hop and R&B, and we collabed on a couple songs, and yeah, we became friends. What was that? 2019, 2020.
Yeah, and there's a main underground DIY venue called the Mockbee in Cincinnati that every Cincinnati musician will be very familiar with.
Yeah, everyone's played it at least once, you know.
They let, well, I don't
It's
know,
like a
they have a
common
variety of
stomping
people
ground.
there, yeah.
Yeah, they have
Um,
rap acts, rock acts, jazz nights.
Yeah,
they
but
do it all.
we played as a backing band to Moonlight for one show, and so that was sort of our introduction to the rap scene. Very brief, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
I still talk to him sometimes.
Oh, bro, I was just
Still
on
hits me up.
Snapchat with Moonlight the other day, bro.
Yeah.
These are, we've been blessed to make great connections with all the people we've met. We've had people stick to us the whole time, man. And, the team just gets larger and larger. It's the fucking Avengers out here,
But that's the big thing about the Cincinnati music scene, I would say, is that the bands are actually really closely connected. Like, we're genuinely best friends.
Yeah, with a lot of
the
other
bands in the
bands,
area.
yeah.
And that is what I have not seen in other cities. I mean, obviously we wouldn't know because we don't live there. We're not as familiar with it, but I think Cincinnati is a very closely knit music
I won't
community.
speak directly to that, but Sam.
Matt?
Matt. No, Sam. Was the Thrifters your first experience with music writing? Or, had you dabbled before?
I don't. So, before there was the Thrifters, our homeboy who's going to grab a beer or something, Hunter. I mean, the magic of meeting him for me in my life was the fact that I had been writing music and songs and shit my whole life, and I thought I was crazy for it. I had never met, that was such a weird thing that I didn't know any other kid growing up who did. And then I met him my sophomore year, and he's got a whole book of lyrics and poetry, and I was like mind blown, man. It was crazy. Like, upon meeting him, I had a song with no lyrics, and he had this poem, and I was like, man, these aren't poems, these are verses. You could write choruses to a lot of this, and he had a very natural musicality in the way he was writing lyrics, or I guess poetry, and I really appreciated it immediately. And I had a song that was unfinished, and he had lyrics, so I came up with a quick chorus, and it was within the first 20 minutes of us sitting down and hanging out outside of school together, we wrote a song, man. And it was just a very beautiful experience to be able to recognize that in someone else, because it was affirming for me. It was a big moment, man. I felt it wasn't something that I thought anyone was doing. I growing up in the 2000s, honestly, I thought a lot of music was really getting flushed down, man. I didn't know there would be a spot to be someone's guitar hero in this generation at the time, but now I really think there is. I totally think there's a crazy love for the guitar, and that was the coolest thing about playing for these rappers and all that, is a lot of people were like, this is my first time even seeing live music, feeling live instruments in accommodation to vocals and all that, where it's not just a track or something. And that was a cool energy to give to people. That's something crazy, and there's a lot of people like that in our generation, and that's a good energy to be able to provide for someone.
Yeah. A couple of our first songs were rejected Thrifter songs, right?
Yeah,
so it was Oxygen
and La Llorona. Yeah,
right?
there was. Yeah.
La Llorona was originally a Thrifter song. Oxygen was the one that never made it.
Never made it.
And it was the bridge to the next.
Yeah, so yeah, I have been writing, for no reason for a long time. I would say Thrifters, I feel like I'm such a a workload based writer at this point. We got so many songs on backlog that we really truly believe in, that I'm sitting here I haven't, I have to truly be inspired to write something at this point, because I have so many in the book that I don't have a necessity to do it like I used to. We really started, wanting to genuinely create some catalog, even if it doesn't exist somewhere, it exists between us. Yeah. And that's we've got a real brotherly battle about it, man. I swear to God, half of our production has just been oh, that was really cool, man. I gotta do something really cool. And now these guys are also writing songs that are gonna be on the upcoming albums. Mm-hmm. And they're, God damn, they're just as talented, man. It's so beautiful. We're gonna get some Karthik songs, and we're gonna get a lot of Frank tunes too. And Frank's really thrown his hat into the ring pretty hard, because all of Rada basically was just, mine and Hunter's writing, and then, you know, Frank's just he's everyone's also got their own dynamicy. You know, we all write very differently. I don't write like Hunter, as Frank doesn't write like me, as Karthik doesn't write like us either. You know, but it's all from a genuinely the same place in the spirit. You know.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Did you guys meet in the Vinyl Club, or?
We did not. So actually,
Damn,
I'm-
you got
I'm
the
from-
Vinyl Club, bro?
Men's did his
Damn.
research, man. We got
Damn.
Nardwar out here.
Yeah, I'm deep diving.
That's
Hell
great.
We have to know.
Ah, there you
So-
go. Yeah.
We do have to know.
Anyways,
So we had a Vinyl Club at our high school, and that's how me and Frank first got to meet. So it was kind of like Hunter and
We'll get some
Sam
pictures, for sure.
had their music before that, and me and Frank were, you know,
we were spinning records.
spinning records,
High school
jamming out
DJs.
in the band
Listen.
room, you know.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, yeah. We had a. So we were in a band. Listen was one of the working titles.
Working title.
But that was the cool thing about Carr and I. Is so I started playing guitar when I was like 13 or 14. And when I did, I knew Carr, and he was playing drums. He was a jazz drummer in like middle school into high school. So it's like as soon as I figured out like my G chord and my D chord, it was like I had a drummer to be able to play with, and like that I think was a really awesome part of like me learning how to play, and then like growing the bond as far as music goes, between like I guess Carr and I's isms. Like any musician, I feel like has like certain things that they do when they're playing, and it's like Carr and I almost built each other's versions of that together. At least when it comes to like rock music.
You've been
so.
what you've grown together.
Yeah.
It's all meta, you know.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
just
like
a
I
meta.
know, and Carl will tell you the same thing. It's like Carl will play a certain fill, and it's like I remember when Carl wrote that fill. So it's
That's
like
hot. That's
it's like
sick.
he goes to play the beginning of it, and it's like oh he's doing that, and it's like you can then adjust to that, and like all four of us at this point know each other's things,
Yeah.
and that like I don't know. We started out. So we were actually, Carr and I were invited to a party at Sam's house, and at that party, it was just like a jam session. And after that night, it was a crazy night. It was a crazy night.
Any songs from that night?
We
La
did play
Llorona
La
was
Llorona,
played.
yeah.
That's funny, isn't it funny? I was like, these guys are good, man. And then so it's funny. Back to the Future moment. Okay, now we're full circle. I met these guys and jammed with them for like an hour or so, and then called Hunter and he was at work, man. And I was
That's
like,
wild. I forgot.
I
about
was like,
that.
man, I don't give a fuck what you're doing, bro. You gotta drop whatever you're doing and fucking.
Frank, my beer already tastes like sulfur. Throw that shit out of here.
Man.
Don't burn yourself,
Yeah,
man.
fucking throw that shit.
I'm not gonna lie, this
Dude,
was a crazy interview.
I think this is like shooting out. It was
Yeah,
like
it
shooting
was. You're
something.
gonna kill someone, Frank.
That's true.
Next question.
What's in my beer?
You describe your band as a blending of punk, reggae, psych rock, grunge, and classical sitar. Is there a name for this? And more on that, what do you think of the media obsession with genre definition?
Is there like a citation for that? Like was that said somewhere? Because
that was said.
I believe it.
That's on your website.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
didn't know that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
We'll have to talk to management.
Wait, can you say that again?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
management. Yeah.
It says blending elements of punk, reggae, psych rock, grunge, and classical sitar.
I think it's
That's pretty
classical
accurate, bro.
sitar.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny that it says. Does it say punk reggae?
I would say it's accurate to the.
That's
first
like, yeah,
album.
guys, we're classical grunge. What can I say? What can I say? You know.
No, that's some new age shit, bro.
I will say, like, I don't know, what we try to do as a band is bring all the genres that we listen to together into kind of a digestible format. Like, it's one unit, but it's all of these different influences, and I think that's kind of how it is for any band nowadays.
Well,
So-
you know,
It's
we
all just an amalgamation anymore. Like, what is the deal with the genre like obsession? Like, I don't even.
like, you know, when I like first started interviewing people, like I would ask about genre, and like very quickly it's like people get kind of like triggered by that, you know, because it's like a
Dude.
weird question.
Even before you guys showed up, me and Frank were joking around. Like, so what are we gonna say when they ask what type of music we play? Like,
Yeah,
no one
man.
even knows. No one knows what to say anymore.
well, I think
Like-
I
the
like shoegaze reggae.
I
Like,
think-
we just
we
play.
were debating on the car ride.
Okay.
We were like, we hear the reggae, we hear the reggae.
My
We all haven't
favorite-
heard the new stuff.
No,
Yeah.
I
So
know.
we have
how
a
is
second
the,
album.
How is the second album coming?
Dude, it's done. So
Fuck
like
yeah.
we're waiting on the final masters, but it's like we have the album cover out, the music video's done, we got all the live and studio stuff for it. We actually have a documentary out for it.
Really.
So like that's just we're all just waiting for the album to get finished, and it's like at this point like I don't know, it's such a rewarding thing to get to the end of the project, and it's like you're just waiting on the masters, which is like the final format of what you're releasing.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff planned. you know,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll make a good re-debut, man. I mean, shit, it's been, what,
Yeah.
5 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
4
yeah,
years.
just about. So, what's really funny is I think one thing that goes with this undefinable genre bullshit is the thing that, you know, we don't start our. I don't write. I don't like listen. I don't sit down to write a song and I'm like, this is a rock song. I sit down with an acoustic guitar and a pad of paper, and then I let the song give itself, and then, you know, naturally as a band, we will provide the, you know, the being a songwriter is just providing context for emotions, and you know, part of that is, you know, with musical instruments, we're all just trying to convey emotions in some way, you know. So it's really just whatever the, like, because if it needs some soft soul R&B type beat, it's getting that. If it we love juxtaposition too, or at least I do personally as a songwriter. I love freaking, you know, writing something soft and then hitting it hard, and you know, I like to, as soon as you got something in your head, I'm gonna flip it on you and like show you how you didn't think it could go there, but it goes there just as well, you know. And I think it's just, people are bedroom artists anymore. They're all sitting in their good bedroom with an acoustic guitar before they're sitting in a freaking airplane hangar like Dave Grohl and writing songs with the Foo Fighters, you know. Like, they're a rock band. We're a band that happens to
But
rock.
more than that, like
You know?
bringing the music to people.
Yeah, and then, you know, when we write a song singularly, the band, like Karthik was saying, has an extreme influence on how that develops. And a lot of the stuff from Rada is all like Oxygen and La Llorona. These are songs I wrote when I was like 16 or 17 that were just like, oh, those were good songs. Let's not let them go away. You know, so we brought them back with Tastefull, and so much time has, you know, passed. This second album captures a glimpse of the past of what we are today, you know, but it's going to be beautiful because you're going to be able to really see a natural growth of idea each way in the first, second, and third albums that we're working on right now, you know. There is a third album that is written. Yeah.
We're very ahead of where we're
There
at
are
as far
albums
as
that we're
production.
deeming for the fourth album already. We're absurd, bro. It's absolutely insane.
But
We
I don't
just
know.
poop out songs.
I do
man.
also,
No.
I do also think like
We
a
should
lot
have
of.
had the instruments set up. Just be like,
Oh, we'll have to
yeah,
run
yeah,
them
yeah.
through a couple of them, you know,
All
just
right,
to show
okay.
them off.
Well, yeah,
if we
this
can.
is the spot that we jam at. So,
Really,
but
yeah. It's a great vibe.
No,
Your
upstairs.
jam.
and even
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like you, man, I can't believe again you got us from back in high school. Like this is where we used to jam in high school, bro. It's my parents' spot. It's like where we still practice from time to time. It's where
Yeah.
I'm recording stuff
So
now.
that back room, where those windows
Yeah.
are, that was 13 and
windows up
14-year-old
there,
car
and
Yeah. So
up in there.
Can we get? No, I'm not gonna. Dox you. I'm not gonna dox you.
just get some phone footage or something. Oh, what was it? So real quick before we get on to the next one, I think a lot of the better bands that are out nowadays, like younger bands especially, don't really confine themselves to too much genre. Like I don't know. You think about I say like King Giz. Those guys are old now, but like they're one of the
That's
better
weird, right?
free-spirited bands that people really
I know,
like.
we're old guys. Can we just admit it? we're in too deep. We're screwed, man. Like, I was just thinking about it the other day. I drive an hour each way for work, and I just listen to straight classical music all the whole ride. And I'm like, man, I'm driving around like a serial killer, just like, I'm in too deep, man. I'm in too deep.
Hey, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
American Psycho
Yeah.
in the work.
Yeah, I'm like, is there really no way out? Like, for shit.
Bill looking
Is
ass.
there
Listen to music.
Fuck, man. Yeah.
Actually, on that, I don't know. I was curious. Like, are you guys at all into like Ravi Shankar and George Harrison?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
sure.
You know, I'm a white boy sitar player at heart. You know, don't get it twisted.
So there is, I think that's where that comes from on the website. I don't know if it was Hunter that wrote that so many years ago or whatever, but me and Sam used to play classical tabla and sitar and took classes for it in college. My guru, Jim Feist, who's a Cincinnati tabla player, actually studied under Ustad Allah Rakha Khan, who taught Zakir Hussain, who played with Ravi Shankar for the most part.
That's so cool.
So I got that little tangential relation, but like, man, it was just such a blast studying under him and like learning this. There's a big Indian community around here, so there's a lot of Indian shows too, and so we haven't been out to one in a while. But
Yeah, but we love
played
it,
a
man.
couple crossover shows,
Really?
where it's been partly classical and Bollywood, and then like we did that up in
Dayton, yeah, that
Levitt
was.
Pavilion. Was pretty cool.
How what's the difference between like sitar and guitar, like playability wise?
Very different. You would not. Everyone who freaking plays the guitar sees my sitar and is like, "Of course, bro. Of course that makes sense. Like, duh. Like, it's got frets. Like, duh. Like, it is way different."
Hold on, I gotta adjust the brightness.
It's okay.
Yeah, no worries. Well, this gives me a second. Can you guys run me through your names again? I really apologize. Kieran.
I'm Striker.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bro, Striker was
I'm
the
sorry.
dude in MK3, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's my homeboy over there.
What port you playing?
Oh, bro. Fucking, first off, the GameCube,
MK3.
like, way back, I was born on, like, bro, my, like, two big games, like, growing up as a kid, I was playing GTA Vice City and MK3, bro.
Oh,
First
yeah.
off, I love the first three original Mortal Kombat games with a dying passion. I also love, like, Deception and Armageddon and all those 3D ones.
Big
And 4's good. I love them all, man. I don't really like a lot of the new ones at all.
No.
But, yeah, I thought MK9 was good. I was really good at MK10. I just don't see, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Like, I've given my life to it. I need to grow up. Like, it's okay.
It sucks not having the time to game as hard anymore, man.
No,
That's a
it's
tough
okay,
that's
bro.
a tough
I used
act
to
of
be a
life.
cold. Catch me in Call of. I'm saying still catch me in Halo, Call of Duty, or MK.
Yo,
and
you play
and
Halo?
we're doing. Oh,
I'm
bro,
there.
I
I'm there, man.
did not just play Halo, bro. I was running the bro. Oh man, don't even. This is too deep a question in of itself,
Dave, I got Halo 1 up there, right?
bro. I freaking. Oh man, I never really played Halo 1. I played I played the Combat Evolved
Yeah, but,
You
but
know.
Halo 3, right?
Yeah, it was really Reach got me into Halo 3, which got me into Halo 4, and on Halo
Frank taking
4,
a
by the
piss.
time we went to
Did
see
he get-
or by the time we
We're
went
losing
to whatever it was, I was like playing Tournament Halo and had a lot of developers on my like friends list and shit, and they just didn't know I was a little 13-year-old rocking some kids. And it's funny because I told them all that I was 13, and they all deleted me. And then I got on a lot of it was just funny shit, man. I used to be cold at Halo, and then when Halo 4 kind of died, I got really into fucking trick shotting and quick scoping motherfuckers on. Bro, I'm legit, bro. I'm X Games mode, bro.
That's what I was really gonna say. The question is, did Frank get more smoke bombs than he did?
He did.
I'm gonna
You gonna keep setting those on?
I'm gonna take that away.
Yeah, we got a smoke bomb ready. I meant.
We're down 100.
My yeah, I know. Whoa, wait a second. My fucking beer tastes like sulfur, dude.
That's
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah, Karthik shows up to Manifest and he's just like losing hair and like walking with a limp. It's like, what's going on, bro? It's like, I got sulfur poisoning,
the
man.
arsenic,
It's-
dude.
yeah.
The arsenic.
Yeah, it's arsenic. Yeah.
So
Yeah, sorry we tried to kill
sorry,
you.
I got a question. I got a real question.
Okay, yeah. That's
I don't know if Hunter can come back, but fucking, you've been described as a deja nu.
Oh, that's a
Do
classic,
you
man.
accept this label, and are you Alice Cooper fans?
Yes.
Yes.
First off, absolutely
Yes.
yes. I was just thinking of, bro, Alice Cooper's going on tour this year, and I was thinking that, that would be a good cop. I don't know if he's going with like White Zombie or whoever it is, but
Alice Cooper's the man.
man, Alice Cooper, like,
Yeah.
we are not worthy, first of all, to even have had the song played on his radio station, bro.
Alice, hit us up again, bro.
Oh, really?
Seriously?
Shout out. No, I'm saying Alice.
Oh,
please hit us
I
up
was like,
again.
oh, please.
Alex.
like,
He's
that-
like, breaking news.
yeah,
I've been
breaking-
like, whoa.
Yeah, this is a shout out to Alice.
yeah.
We
No,
appreciate the
Alice
endorsement.
is the man.
we got
I mean,
we got a lot of radio play with Running in Circles for that one. So
yeah,
that's a
it
fun
was
song.
really fun. Well, it was cool because, we did work with like a lot of college radio stations, and a lot of our stuff, like, on a national level, was getting played, man. Like, we were getting spins whether or not. Yeah, and that was so fun, man. Like,
Whether or not
that
it matters these days.
and it does not necessarily, but it was still cool, man. It was good to see that, and just see that, there's still outreach possible that's organic over a world of social media, man. Like,
For sure.
we're really an old school rock band, man.
Do you go into a project knowing that you're going to use more unconventional instruments like the Tingsha bells, or is that something that happens like in the studio?
I mean, I think it's really a matter of inspiration. It's like Sam said earlier, like one of us or a couple of us will bring a song to the band, and then everyone tries to contribute what they can. I'm lucky enough that I was able to do the stuff that I could with Oxygen. Like, I'm really proud of like being able to put like actual live steel pan. I played vibraphone on that. I wish we got some footage of it back in the day, but hey, save it for next time. So really, we just try and grow these things into organic songs. Recently, we've been trying to go a little more stripped down, focus on the instruments and our voices.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's all just a big creative mess.
We
I
can't.
would say,
yeah.
I'd say a lot of it is preconceived in the practice room before, but some things, in the studio, especially harmonies. I mean, like, I don't know, our song Great Unknown, which isn't released yet, we pretty much did the harmonies on the spot in the studio. So there's
Yeah.
some things that come up, but things like the bells, I think it was in practice, remember?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
we
I had a
decided,
little
like,
student bell kit, and I
Yeah.
popped it out for
Right
for,
up here in this room, man. That's
Yeah.
where it's at. But sometimes it goes too far. I remember
Oh, man.
For Lost Another Friend, we submitted all the tracks, and our producer got back to us, and he was like, "Man, you guys threw everything in the kitchen sink into this." He was like, it was a big project.
Hey, we're big Pink Floyd fans, man. We'll throw the kitchen sink and everything else in it.
Yeah.
Hear that
you know?
remaster?
What was
That's
that?
a remastered Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, is it the 50th anniversary?
something
Oh,
Yeah.
the Roger Waters redo.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
You're talking about the spatial audio one?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, they got, like,
Yeah, that was sweet.
I remember.
Oh.
Roger
In
Waters
Atmos,
one
yeah.
is,
Freaking 12K audio,
Hunter,
I'm just joking.
Yes, sir.
do you speak German?
Ja, was willst du mich sagen?
Oh my god. I wasn't sure what was going to happen when I asked that.
Yeah, man, I studied German in high school. Well, I studied it earlier than high school, but yeah, I don't know. I've just always like been very interested in German culture and like learning the language. I just felt a certain draw to it. Studied a lot in high school. I've been there twice.
This is somewhat unrelated. Do the Pokemon Championships mean anything to you?
I don't know. I
You
mean,
don't know?
what's
That's a
it
no.
what's it related to? Yeah.
Disregard.
Okay, disregard.
Sometimes
The
my
Bakugan.
sometimes my research leads to dead ends.
Here's a funny one. Me and
Really
Hunter
going
grew
hard
up in the
this, man.
same area
Appreciate
and
it.
didn't meet any. So we actually went to St. X High School, which was oddly enough the closest high school to where we grew up. But there's not a lot of people from where we grew up who have ever went to St. X before us necessarily.
At least while we were there.
Yeah, exactly. And we used to both sell Bakugan on the same territory, you know. So we were honestly combative Bakugan dealers.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
God
I
we
used-
never.
Bro, you better watch out. I used to be slinging back in the day.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
on that
Like
recess
rules to
playground, I was
Bakugan.
hustling.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, bro. So like, you know, if we ever would have crossed paths, we would have actually had to battle, man.
You know,
you know?
moving gun on the recess
Yeah.
playground ain't no joke.
Before
man.
it was
Fucking-
songwriting, we were in a Bakugan selling tournament, apparently, a competition.
Bro, I was taking lunch money, bro. Kids were coming up to me with plastic bags of their lunch money. I'm like, yeah, shop's open for business.
We'll get to that when we get to it. Frank,
Yes.
how was San Juan? You ever been to any wonders of the world?
Any wonders of the world? I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I've been to the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
That's the
I was
wonder of the
wondering
world you're talking
that.
about. Yeah, I've been to India a couple of times, man. I have a large passion for the place, you know. I was basically born and raised a Midwestern white guy, and you can hear it in my voice. I can hardly speak Hindi.
Just like me.
No, the joke is that my girlfriend's Hispanic, and now I think I know more Spanish than Hindi, so my parents might disown me. But nah, yeah, man, I haven't been in a while. I actually might be meaning to go in December, in which case, like, I want to really get into the music more than I have in the
The band
past.
goes on tour in India.
Yeah, Tastefull takes
That,
India. Just
that would
wait.
be
Just wait.
great, man. I mean, you know, I don't want to market us as an Indian fusion band, but I do love the influence, and I'm glad I got
We
to play.
all love that
tabla
influence
on there.
too.
Yeah, I
man, you
mean, there's
know?
no hiding it. I mean, for real.
Like, you know, obviously Karthik is Indian, but we do also love. Each and every one of us has a great respect for Indian culture.
Yeah, man, I used to watch just like Bollywood movies just for fun. Like, I don't know, I really enjoyed watching. I enjoyed the music aspect of it, but
Yeah,
they're
I'm
kind of interesting to watch. I don't know.
I'm engrossed in some good sitar music, man. I love the music, man. The classical Indian music is actually, like, I love classical Western music as well, but I'm also a fiend for classical, like, Eastern music. I love it.
Karthik again.
Yes.
Are you a sneakerhead?
My sneakerhead.
Yeah.
From time to time, I'm wearing my slides right now.
Yo, represent.
So really repping. But no, I got a buddy who's really big into that stuff. So he helps me get decked out for the shows from time to time. We're used to.
That's sick.
I got a couple vintage J's and all of that kind of stuff.
Man, where I grew up, it was funny, man, because if your shoes weren't good enough, they would steal them, and if your shoes were too nice, they would also steal them.
Oh yeah, man.
They hit the middle ground.
Yeah, you had to find a good
Gotta
middle
look
ground.
just broken up.
In like 90% of our old promo photos from like, I don't know, pre-2020, I'm wearing a pair of rainbow Air Maxes that I think I wore to every Tasteful photo shoot. So if you go back, you'll find all of those.
Bro, I saw the funniest thing the other day. I was walking down the street. I live in Green Hills, and I think Green Hills is getting taken over by the Bloods right now. And I keep seeing these red flags hanging everywhere, red clothes. And this dude was walking down the street, and he had on some like normal shoes, like no color. I think they were like brown or something. But he had a pair of all red like sneakers in his hand, just on lock, like right here, just in case he had to switch them out.
Gotta be ready, man.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's commitment. Not that much of a sneakerhead, but I can get down.
I have a lot more questions, but you guys have just been like giving me so much to work with. I'm not even gonna ask all of
Keep
them.
them coming. We'll knock them out quickly this time.
Yeah.
Why did you guys
put a
set
timer.
that? Hold on. Why did you guys set that guitar on fire?
Oh, it was already broke.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually our buddy Joe Tellman, who is an amazing player, phenomenal session player. He plays with this Pine Box, dude shreds. But anyways, he's also a luthier, and it was a guitar that was like beyond repair. We were hanging out at his place and he needed some content, and he was like, "Want to burn it?" So we did.
Oh yeah.
But it was sustainable. It's okay.
Let's do like quick rips, like right down the.
Quick,
down the line.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna go real quick with this. Thank you.
So Car, then.
No, it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Yeah, editing
You
exists.
guys have played in a lot of
That's all.
places. Which city has the best crowds in your opinion so far?
We were blessed in Buffalo, man. We
Buffalo?
played this bar that had like a sports bar, a piano bar, a like arcade bar, and a music bar all in the same place, man. Yeah, and we like it was
Buffalo, New York
packed.
was a pretty
It
packed
was
show.
packed to the brim
Yeah.
in every single room, man. It was amazing, you know, like
And people
having
were cycling.
yeah,
so we
having
played
that many
probably
people
a couple hour
cycling.
show. And people just kept cycling. It was awesome.
It depends on the type of venue. I will say, like, shout out to Columbus. One of the better shows we ever played was when we went up there with Dairy Family. You guys
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
We played a house show venue. I'm blanking on the name, if any of y'all remember.
Oh,
But it was one of the best house
Was
shows
it
I've
the
ever been to.
basement?
maybe that
Might have
sounds
been.
about right. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, it was like a
They all
house.
live there.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was their spot. It was the basement. And man, that was just so much fun. It was really good to see guys ticketing a house show like that, like up there in Columbus. Like I think that's what we need more of down here is people
Yeah.
willing to pay for the bands. 'Cause
Everything's free here, and then it just gets overcrowded.
Mhm.
It's not safe.
Get some facilitation. Cincinnati. Get on that.
Yeah.
Did you guys all grow up in Cleveland or Cincinnati? Sorry, not Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Cincy boys.
I
yeah.
grew up, I was actually born in Cincinnati and lived for an extended period in Arizona and then moved back. But yeah, I've been in Cincinnati, which was once, it used to be way more Arizona, but now I think I've lived in Cincinnati officially longer in my life.
Sam's Desperado.
And then
Yeah.
I was in Glendale and Hamilton. And when I was a baby, I was in Mount Healthy. Then before that, I'm closer to downtown. And then moved to Kenwood. And then Karthik lives in Loveland. So our parents were probably 10 minutes from each other.
Me and Hunter were raised in a little spot called Hartwell,
Yeah,
man.
the Hartwell boys.
Yeah, so they were like neighbors and we were like neighbors.
Yeah.
Except Sam lived
Yeah.
on the wrong side of the tracks. We
Yeah.
were across the railroad tracks from each other.
Yeah, and it's
You know.
really funny because like in Hartwell especially, in Wyoming and Lockland and all that, there's a huge difference that redlining made in Cincinnati.
For real, the
Yeah,
socioeconomic.
it's really. I know that's
Yeah.
crazy to go into for a music interview, but it's really ridiculous because like you would
It
step
is.
over into like his part of Hartwell, and then you would step over into my part of Hartwell, and it's very immediately like it's crazy. It's like immediately
Bro, there
different.
was real shade about it too. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty.
Like I know a lot of those YO folks won't step foot over
Yeah,
there.
would not even think about it.
So, having grown up in Cincinnati, are there any venues here that you have a particular attachment to or special memories with?
Man,
I mean, off the bat, we've played Northside Tavern and the Mockery a thousand
Northside
times.
Tavern has really phenomenal sounds. Like if you're like a touring band, come to Northside Tavern. They do ticketed shows, so normally like you run the door. But like if you market it well and like you have a good door guy, like it's really good sound and it's a nice place. So
Motor
for touring
Pub as
bands,
well, man.
Motor Pub has a nice natural draw.
Yeah.
And then the Mockery, we played a Halloween show with Saving Escape, Trom Illinois, Fat Sal. Who else? We played. Was it Through the Island?
Through the Island,
Yeah.
This
Yeah, that
Pine
was
Box,
fun,
like
Yeah, that was a
Bellevue
awesome show. We
is
sold
one of
that
the
out.
cooler things
So
as
that
well,
was really
man.
cool.
We have this thing,
Bellevue Pavilion
Bellevue
as well.
Pavilion, that used to be this. When we all got to college, it was this amphitheater that was being used for nothing, and then a lot of our friends and people we associate to, Frank included, bound together for like with the Cincy Parks and everything, and we've actually approved and run live concerts in this park with a lookout like it's the best view in Cincinnati that was being used for nothing. And that's been a magical experience. And then we also have a contract. We play a lot of we're big FC Cincinnati fans, man.
yeah.
We play a lot of the home games for FC Cincinnati, and we play consistently at TQL Stadium, and that's been a beautiful time just having. I don't know. It's just a
been a
great
great
time.
time.
We go to the game. We get to rep our city, and then to have a local
never
band.
lost.
Yeah, and we've never lost as long as Tastefull was playing.
That's facts.
I think it's think it's probably because of you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's safe to
100%.
say.
It has to be.
We actually were late by an hour, and we were down 2, and then
And
we
they came
showed
back.
up, and they came back. Yeah. So, you know,
So these guys are magical. Book them for sports games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the Bengals need a Super Bowl, Paul, you know, they need Paycor needs to get us a contract.
The more you pay us, the better the game.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, man.
Yeah.
That's what the statistics show. You know?
All right, now to close out, I'm gonna ask, what is in the future for Tasteful?
We have a new album,
New album.
coming out, hopefully this fall. We are also currently in development for a third album. And then we are going on a tour this fall. Dates will be announced here soon.
Fantastic.
So it'll be
It's looking
all
pretty
the East
schmexy.
Coast. I think we got Philly on there. Definitely have Columbus.
Virginia, I was looking at it
Cleveland.
today.
New York City, perhaps.
Florida.
Yeah,
Florida. Yes.
yeah, all over the place. We're really just, you know,
World tour.
East
There we
Coast.
go.
East
Yeah.
Coast, we're coming for you.
World East Coast
Next
tour.
is, you know, we'll hit India before we hit California. Yeah.
Then we'll hit Germany next.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Oh, before we go, I forgot to do this at the beginning. Could you all introduce yourselves?
Absolutely.
Nice.
With the nighttime.
Did it die? Just died. Oh my God.
The world will never
never
know.
Audio only, guys. Introduce yourselves. I'll put it at the beginning.
You now have the most wild intro.
What, is this working or?
It should be working.
I'm Tom Raturi.
Oh my god.
My name is Hank Hill.
I'm Sam Morello.
My name is Rick D'Amelio.
And that's it for you all. This is a crazy interview. I'll see you next time.
Yeah,
Frank,
I
what's
know.
with the smoke bombs, bro?
The
Gotta
fucking-
keep the audience entertained, man.
You know, I'm